My name is Justin North. I am a student at Texas Tech University. I am a human sciences major. My concentrations are addictive disorders and recovery studies, human development and family studies, and psychology. To me, integrative studies is taking everything that a person is, everything that they've done, everything that that they've learned, who they are, who they want to be, what they're doing in the process of becoming that person, and really applying all of those things to solve a problem or to address an issue that's going on in their world. My history, first of all, I'm a non-traditional student. I'm 38 years old. It took me a really long time to decide kind of what I wanted to do when I grow up. Actually, it took me a long time to decide whether or not I wanted to grow up. I'm a person in long-term recovery. I've been clean since December 25th, 2016. I am also a product of the prison system. I say product. I don't normally let that experience define me, but it did help shape a lot of my ideas and attitudes and beliefs towards the world. And I think it really helped me, or is helping me in my education. One other thing that I really liked about Bateson's article was when she talked about the section on page 79. She said, "In all learning, one is changed, becoming someone slightly or profoundly different, but learning is welcome when it affirms a continuing sense of self." I learned a lot about myself in my addiction, especially in my recovery. When I was incarcerated, I learned a lot about who I was, and I also learned a lot about who I wasn't. I had this false idea of who I was, what I wanted out of life, and as I grew and matured and went through the experiences of being locked up and being in recovery and things like that, I really became profoundly different and changed profoundly, and really found that sense of self that I believe that she talked about in the journal. So all of those things kind of led me to where I am now. Other things that kind of helped me become part of who I am is I'm the youngest of three children. My older sister, or my only sister, Alex, passed away a little over 3 years ago, and she told me that if I didn't use my experiences to help other people or to do good, that it would all have been a waste. And that really kind of lit a fire under me to do something positive. And for me, I go and speak a lot to different organizations and programs, and one thing that I always emphasize is that education is really what saved my life. It's what really gave me a foundation for a good life, for a positive life. So that's a little bit about me. My path or my trajectory. Right now, like I said, I'm studying the concentrations of human development and family studies, addictive disorders and recovery studies, and psychology. I picked those because my main goal is to either get a master's degree in marriage and family therapy and go into the clinical side of addiction and treatment and mental health, or get a dual master's in public health and public administration and work in the kind of the process side, policy, research, advocacy, things like that. I already have the educational requirements to be a licensed chemical dependency counselor intern. So no matter which path I choose educationally, I'm still going to work in the treatment side of addiction treatment for a while. I believe that in order to be a good advocate or to understand what types of policies and procedures and things need to be changed, I have to have that lived experience of working in the field. So I still want to do that internship since I'll have the license. No matter which master's program I take or I complete, I am also interested in doing my PhD in addictive disorders and recovery studies here at Texas Tech University, because I believe that will kind of solidify and kind of cap all my training, all my education, my lived experiences, and will really make me an expert in the field of just like it says, addictive disorders and recovery studies. I want to be able to educate others about addiction and about recovery, not just from the frame of reference of substance use disorder, but also eating disorders, process addictions, co-occurring disorders, a lot of things that people don't even think about when they think of addiction and recovery. The connection to all of that is from my history and my life's trajectory. Is I have always, even when I was doing bad, I've always wanted to help people. I've always had a heart for other people, and I used to do that. I used to kind of use that heart in a bad way, in a negative way. Even though I was doing good things for people, I was doing it for the wrong reasons. And now I feel like my experiences have given me a voice, and my my experiences have given me something to say, something to talk about. My education has given me the voice and the platform to say it, to share all of these things. In continuity, my life has always been, up to the past, I guess, 2 years, 3 years really, my life has been a series of chaotic events. There's been a lot of discontinuity, I guess you could say, a lot of false starts, a lot of mess, but the constant through there, and the kind of the theme or the trend that can be seen throughout my life is, like I said, that desire to help other people. And now I get to bring all of these things together, kind of like what I was talking about in the beginning of my definition of integrative studies. Is I get to take the good and the bad. I get to take my years spent in active addiction. I get to take my years spent in incarceration, plus my years spent in education, all the things I've learned, things that I've learned from internships and volunteering and relationships that I've built and connections that I've made. I get to take all of them together, and I get to apply that towards a problem in my world, and that problem is that I see one of the biggest problems is addiction, and mental illness. So I get to take all of those things and put them all together, and I make a point to, I don't cover over the bad. I don't take the bad out of the mix, because the bad, while it's not necessarily who I am anymore, it is part of my story and it is part of my lived experience, and I did learn a lot from it, like Bateson talked about, and I get to put it all together and pull something really awesome out of it, and that to me is the very definition of integrative studies. Anyway, that's it.